Hi, Dr. Lou here to talk about my efforts to make a two-player version of my game Britannia. For 30 years, Britannia has been a four-player game. Yes, there have been three-player versions added on, there was a five-player version added on, but it's really designed for four. Unfortunately, groups can not always get four people together. So one of my goals in the new edition prototype was to have a simplified 3 to 5 player game that works well and is shorter than the standard game. And I've succeeded in doing that, I believe. It's much shorter because I leave out the Romans, and it's much simplified because the points are effectively determined by the players who have scoring centers that they move around rather than using the traditional point values. So that works for 3 to 5, and it might work for 2, but unfortunately then if you're just having two colors, what do you do with the other two colors? And of course, it would be ideal to have something close to the standard game that's a two-player game. Unfortunately, it just doesn't work. I found that the point values are designed so carefully to fit the four-player situation where each player has three opponents that they don't work right when two colors are working together. This is also why no one's found a different set of nations for the four colors. And that's not for lack of trying. I've certainly tried in the past. That works as well as the standard set because the points would need to be reconfigured quite drastically to make it all fit right. At some point years ago, I devised some shorter two-player practice versions to work with the Fantasy Flight Games edition of Britannia, but too much depended on the vagaries of the dice and on the point problems. Well, with this new introductory free-form version, it finally occurred to me that it might be possible to give each player two colors and end up with an interesting game. Well, when this idea came to me, I thought I could use the Solomon method, which is one player pairs up the colors and then the other selects which pair he or she wants to play. However, in this introductory version, while players are not constrained by the points, they are still constrained by where they can land, so that you still have something that vaguely represents British history. In the event, then, with only actually three possibilities, you take one color and pair it with the other three, I found that there was only one good choice. Red and blue have to be enemies. It's the Angles and the Picts and the Normans versus the Saxons and the Brigantes. Red and yellow must be enemies, the Saxons versus the Romano-British. And the Romano-British are much stronger in this edition. Now, there is an option for the Saxons to land north of the Romano-British and fight the Angles, so you could put red and yellow together, but really, practical matter, it has to be red and green against the other two colors. Sometime I'll try red and yellow, but for now, early on, only having tried it with one play with other people, it looks like this version of red and green against the other two colors using the simplified and quicker play rules will work out pretty well. Thanks for listening.